All right, here we are to talk about Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 5. Woo!
Shit's popping.
Oh, man.
Shit's populating.
So, where does the episode start?
We pick up where we left off, and we follow Joyce. Like, she's got like a new picture, and she's like, where does this one fit in? And they use that to show you that it now spans the entire house.
Yes.
Goes up the walls. It's this fucking crazy ass thing.
What's crazy about it is like, while this is just the only way they could spread out a map that big,
yeah.
It also looks like the hallways and stuff on how they do it. So, like, at first, I'm like, oh, he's like now they can see what it really looks like in the Upside Down.
Oh, interesting.
And then when they're like, it's a map, and they're measuring things, I'm like, how the hell are they accurately measuring things? There's turns, and it has empty space in the air.
Motherfucker, Bob the Brain is on the case.
Well, in theory, it would still be semi-accurate because you're still gauging all the other things against themselves.
And like, of all the ways to do anything ever, this shit was great. Because Bob, like, knows the town, and he's like, this is like the whatever quarry. Because he can tell, like, it seems to be avoiding, because if that's that river, and we follow this down the way here south, this must be south. And he's doing all the, that's fucking awesome.
Bob the motherfucking brain.
Bob the motherfucking brain is on the case.
God
that was
damn.
so awesome. But, no, for him to be able, and like, he wanted multiple measurements, and he was comparing them to the map.
Yes.
Right? So he was accounting for the fact that this is not an exact science and shit's fucked up and all that stuff.
Yeah, so he gave him a
Such a good way to do
ballpark,
it,
which is pretty good.
And he got them, into the neighborhood where Will could use his new psychic powers to fucking find Hop. No, this whole thing. So I guess, I think before the credits, right? She's like, well, it's it's covering the whole house. We get shown that, and then we go back to Hop, who's like not doing well because it was like the balls on this son of a bitch should be going through the tunnels like
Holy
that.
Shit.
And it's like, yes, the foolish balls.
Well, that's what balls are.
Certain death.
What is the old saying? Like fortune favors the brave, or something along those lines.
Except, like, is that relevant because it's false? Because this is a person who tried to be bold and was.
Well, he didn't try. He was bold.
I know.
He did almost die. Yes. But because of his things, we've discovered things moments before the people that could actually do something about it discovered things.
Yes, we've unnecessarily inserted
and
ourselves
endangered
into a dangerous
our
situation.
friends' lives.
Yes.
But
like,
damn if that's not entertaining.
No, this was awesome. This was the whole thing, right? He's going through. I loved the trail of cigarette butts.
Yep.
And I loved, like little things like this. There's like a word for it in film school where like you just show people, like you build the world or whatever. Like we saw the little orifices that spit out the dandruff.
Yes.
And something also gooped on him. He got like tarred and feathered.
Yeah.
And he like can't breathe. Like the environment's toxic and shit.
When
and
he
like,
first
ooh.
broke the cigarette, I didn't think he was leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. I thought he was gonna breathe through the filter.
Okay.
I was like, I'm like, Hop, you smart bastard. And then he didn't do that, and I was like,
genius.
oh, you dumb bastard.
You had it. But he even like
he did make himself a little makeshift respirator mask.
And when he goes to that same part of the tunnel, because he tries to go out the other way and it's like blocked off. Then he goes back, and even though he has the mask on, he like hesitates and like does this around like the thing in the ceiling that's bad on him, like little things like that.
But this is what must have happened to Will. So eventually he got bogged down, and then it holds you, and then the next step was it's going to tendril down your throat.
So this is like fucking Aliens,
Super
right?
creepy.
When they see the people papered into the walls.
Yeah.
And shit.
No, but imagine being in this situation where vines that are sentient are attacking you.
It's a fucking hentai.
A, that's very difficult to fight off because when you cut one, another one comes. It's like the head of a hydra here, and then there's eventually they get at you from more than one side, and you're trapped.
Yeah. So if we want to jump to the end, kind of by the end of my two sentences here, but like I loved when he was getting caught by them. He was like, "Wait, no," or something like that. Like that natural reaction to like shout no and be like powerless and all that stuff. And then when they're busting him out, as soon as he can talk, he's like knife. And then as soon as they have the knife, he says hands.
Yeah.
Like he can just get out one word. It's the most efficient, most like logical. He's like, free my hands. I can help free me because I know exactly what's killing me at the moment.
I love Bob's like when he's like knife. I was like, oh, there it is. just how he said it. I laughed out loud. And then when they finally got him uncovers. Oh, Joyce. Oh, thanks. Bob. Jim. I thought that was so funny because it's like clearly he's like the alpha male in this scenario. Like he was in trouble right now, but he's still a boss. And And you have like this new guy who's like, oh, I'm a little threatened by this. I don't know.
No,
we
and
just risk our lives to save this guy from what are these things? He didn't ask really any questions. To his credit, Bob is the man.
I know.
Because Bob came in there, he helped them, like, you know, in a way that nobody else could have.
I know.
They didn't even know it was a map, really.
They needed Bob. Can we take a quick second?
Sure.
I know you're in the middle of something, but like, for Bob to show up, and we assume it's going to be the awkward like sitcom, like, oh, don't look over here, oh guys, and then like she stalls, and then they open the door and the map's gone. She's like, oh, yes, right here, no, Will, and he has a thermometer in his mouth. Some like dumbass fucking shit would happen. Or whatever. Now it's the opposite, where he's like, all right, I guess I'll fuck off. I'm not the kind to fight back, even in this scenario. We just established that, and she's like, wait, you are the brain, Bob, and then for the whole time she's like, no questions, and he's like, oh, we can't, and she's like, fucking Bob, you fucking do it. It's like Eugene on Walking Dead. She's like, you fucking just do this, and then gets all the way to the end there where he's like, oh, okay, okay. Like, it's weird.
I just love the idea of trying to have someone solve your problem and no questions. I don't even know what the problem is.
Yeah.
Where is this? What is this?
and he says that he's like, I'd like to help, but without knowing the context. And luckily, then he like, you know, Sherlock Holmes.
What kind of like, you know, has to have some sort of a brain deficiency
he's on the autism,
to even see that like
spectrum.
weird if whenever he sees a heart, is he like, oh, Lover's Lake?
That's like the lake.
Like,
no, he must be
automatically assume that you have to be super autistic.
He must be the kind of like nerd that like was into maps or knew the town well enough.
But you don't even know that it's a map.
No, you don't. It's amazing.
And there's no context because it's a map that is underground. So the only frame of context would be that one shape. And if you don't even know you're looking at a map, shape
so like
as natural as a heart,
as natural and as common as a heart.
If it were like, it's a weird, it's like a star with one piece missing in a ridge. Oh, that's that.
Sure.
But it's such a common fucking thing, and it was not even a good heart.
No, but
the man is fucking amazing.
I loved it because once he starts to connect it right, and he's like, oh, it's like roads. You see, they go around water. See, great, this is great. Or
I
like the brain teaser things. I'm like, fuck. Well, I mean, I was imitating him when he was like, like awesome. Like he just like he enjoyed solving the like puzzle so much that he forgot that like he's like, I'm trying to do the stepdad thing, but I'm sort of a nerd and I have to be like, I'm the man of the house now, and she's kind of like, shut the fuck up, and he's like, and this weird thing, but then all that melts away, and he's like, well,
he's a fucking actor,
and he's like fucking doing the things and the measuring. He's like, I have 3.6 inches. This has to be enough. It's really not enough. And just fucking guess.
If you're twisting my arm, and you are twisting my arm, he's such a great character, because I love the willingness to just like, he jumped in a fucking hole. Like, you know how much you have to care about somebody to jump into a hole that you can't even see the bottom of, and when you're the person that lowered her in, how do you think you're getting out?
How are you ever getting out? Right?
You're not athletic.
Even if it was a normal hole, you might die. Putting aside what's in there, leaving the kids up there, following her in there, right? And that's the bookend for the other thing where she's like, "Oh, thank God you're okay, Hop," and he's like, "Okay,
yeah, okay, all because of Bob. Bob did everything that made this happen."
Yeah, I know.
No, Bob is like literal marriage
MVP.
material. Like, you should already put a ring on it. You got to lock it down. You don't want him to be single for long. Someone's gonna snatch him up. They're gonna lose your Bob.
Yeah. Do you think something's gonna happen where like he ends up sidelined and it's Hop or something?
Oh, no. Most definitely.
Oh no.
100%.
That'll be so.
There's a thing in life where women don't want the person that's perfect for them. They want a schmuck. And not to say Hop is a schmuck, but in this scenario, if you were to just on paper say which one of them is clearly a better father figure, who's a better provider, who will be there for you when the chips are down, like he was right now, that's Bob.
When you're at the bottom of your whatever and the main man is incapacitated because he's foolish, Bob's there to rein. No, like on like Loveline, Adam and Dr. Drew, there used to be like women that call up and have a lot of problem with guys and like they like bad boys and shit goes wrong. Adam Carolla used to say, honey, you have to find yourself a boring guy. Find a guy that you can't stand because he's so boring. Because guess what? That's what you need in your life. You need a guy who's just going to go to work and then come home after work and kiss you and say, like, how was your day, honey? And all that stuff. You don't need to, find the most boring person you can, because that's exactly the guy that's good for you.
But no one wants the thing they need.
No, I know.
But so moving further along here,
he
didn't bat an eye at like the idea that vines are like just killing a human right in front of him. They're moving.
So I got a little concerned here for a moment. There's a scene, real quick, and there's a bunch of different ways to interpret it. But I thought.
Let's hear it.
I thought we might go down one path. It seems like we didn't. Maybe we still will. Where Bob, where like Joyce goes, and Bob stops and looks back and looks forward and looks back and then follows Joyce or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I got a vibe of like maybe he's in on it or something like that.
Not a chance in hell.
Okay.
Not a chance in hell.
That's what I mean. Could have just been his uncertainty of like, should I go and follow her or whatever the fuck?
No. But, I have no definitive answer here, but I would go on record saying I don't believe that for a second.
No,
Bob is true. I won't let you besmirch his honor and good name.
And the episode obviously didn't go down that path or whatever the fuck. So I was like, oh, and I thought the same thing. Oh, good, because I thought we were gonna do some again goofy shit where Bob's been like whatevering the whole time or something like that. But real quick, so like part of what happens, we should just talk about the ending because it's like right next to the scene or whatever.
We'll roll right into that naturally.
They like flamethrower it and Will's screaming and all that stuff, but that makes so much sense because the one scene per episode inside of the lab, technically inside.
Yes, this is what I wanted to circle back into.
Perfect.
It's amazing.
Like, they fucking say, well, there were no signs of like whatever, but take a look at this, and they Bunsen burner one sample and it starts swirling around, not unlike the tendrils of the shadow monster.
Yes, it turns to the
like
smoke,
reverse,
but
and then
all of them turn to smoke.
Over like they're all connected, like it's a hive mind.
Yes,
like it's
which is amazing. And Will's shriek and body movements.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
That was an inhuman, like rubber Chucky doll, fucking the fucking siren. That was amazing. Yeah.
I thought that was so good, and this show has a really great way of ending at this moment where I'm like, God damn it! I just want a little bit more. Can you end on like a boring bit just once, so I don't have to fucking watch it?
I don't need it. Yeah.
It drives me nuts. This show is everything The Walking Dead is not.
Oh no!
it's so good. There's not a moment of this. Like my phone is like over there.
Yeah.
I'm fixated on the screen. Each character, when it gets back to any of the characters, I'm like, oh, good, we're on that character now. Oh, awesome, we're on that character. Every character's knowing that I'm like, fuck, we're talking about Billy again.
Right, there is no
oh, what is Billy doing? Oh, what a dick.
Yeah, there's no like, oh, I forgot they were even on the show. Why are they on the show? What a waste. Everything is, I've used the word like 10 times, I think today, just saying like it's so like dense and like efficient.
Yes,
everything's for like a reason. And yeah, you're happy to see every single like plot thread or whatever the fuck.
My favorite character is still Dustin, though.
Yeah.
Dustin, when he's talking to Mike's dad.
Oh, my God.
And he goes like, son of a bitch, you're not useful at all. Language.
Everything about that conversation was amazing.
He's really so good.
They're really letting this character and this actor like develop into their own like thing. Because he says something. He opens with like, your phone line has been busy for 2 hours. Do you realize this? And he was like, yes, I do. Or whatever. Like, just his fucking like.
Everything with that character, like whenever he's talking, like when he has lines, they are funny.
Like he could not be, yeah.
And his delivery is perfect.
Yeah.
And everything about him, from like how he looks, the dresses, acts, and what he says, it just makes the perfect package. And I would like him to have a spin-off show. I want to know what he's been doing for the year between the last year and this year.
Upside Dustin?
Upside Dustin. I'm totally down.
No, it's so I guess we'll follow Dustin back in time before all that. So like wearing hockey pads, waddling down the hallway, going, fuck, all that fucking stuff. Like,
he didn't run backwards. He ran forward. His back is not armored at all. The kid's, he's so funny. And then he get like
and the baloney doesn't have to be in like the middle, but you put it in the middle, and then knew he had to run, and now is running so as not to disturb the baloney, as if that would be like, my plans will be ruined if the baloney is not exactly 4 inches apart or something. Like, that's such a dumb, like, perfect fucking
hockey pads for running, the worst. It might as well wear leg immobilizers. Like,
right. Well, and it showed. He's like fuck, waddling like a fucking what's the thing that waddles?
A penguin.
They have much shorter legs. That's ridiculous.
Waddling man.
I'm thinking of Talk from Return to Oz.
Sure.
Deep cut. So this is kind of like a mixed bag, development here, right? Mm-hmm. So like they don't know yet, but he did try to. He wants to tell them, he just can't, right? It's this weird middle ground, and he is hiding it from his mother, but only I think to try to save her life.
Yes.
To like bury the problem, but then he's like, it's code red, fuck off, we need some help, and everyone's busy.
Well, because he knows he's now in over his head.
Yes.
He's got to deal with this. He has to never tell his mother this. I love that his basement is like a bomb shelter. Like it seems like it's off the house. Like it's pretty cool.
Right, like
it might even be a root cellar that's like adjacent to the house.
Like the lawn goes into like a hill, and it's at the base of that, with a perfectly placed shed or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, no, very cool.
So like at first I'm like, what? Like wait, what is his plan? He's just leading him into the thing, and okay, he's running into a shed. Oh, okay, he's gonna rush out and like slam the door. Okay, good. This will go fine. And then it's like too smart for that. Right?
He's locked himself in a shed for safety that has a window that is only covered by a sheet. I was like, well, you're very safe in there.
Oh, I didn't even on the outside or whatever.
Yeah. No, but like this part. If you pay particular attention to how good the CGI is in this scene, because you see something interacting with real things, it's eating bologna off the ground. It's not actually there, people. Like it looked beautiful.
That's computer bologna, Mike.
No, it's amazing, and it made me think that like their budget might be so good that the water scenes we were talking about before with the black and like I have to settle for the ripple. There might not be any water there. That might be all post water.
Ooh,
that could be completely green screen shots. Then they just black the bottom and add fake water. I think that's what they're doing. As I'm looking at how good they actually are, I think that there's no water in those scenes.
I'm like a super stickler, and I totally agree with you. I don't want to shit on your point. The upside down's been great. All like the composite stuff's been like super awesome. But the one thing when he like scores the goal and hits
into the basement.
Hit start into the basement. Some of like the flopping around, the weight didn't seem like it was right or wasn't like hitting the ground right or whatever.
The reason I didn't take any points away for things like that is because I don't know what the anatomy of this weird creature is, and like it could just be like.
Yeah, no, totally.
So I'll let that slide.
And honestly, like we're talking about like one shot of like a sequence of like 10 shots, and when he's scurrying up the stairs, it was legitimately scary. Like it was real. It was definitely like you're saying, like this is. It feels like it's there.
Super well done.
And when it was eating the cat, even was super good because like it's like moving, and the cat, like the corpse of the cat's like moving. Everything was it wasn't like a weird like and the way. I don't know.
Something we didn't touch base on real quick to rewind back to the tunnels with Hop. There's like bones and shit in there.
Oh right, okay.
Now is it that the roots themselves are pulling creatures down into the thing, or do you think something is in there? The walls that were created by roots that were blockading him from going different directions. Do you think those just open up at times and there are things that are running through and like to and fro in here?
Right, so we can either...
You can extrapolate a lot and infer very much here.
So, like, I thought we heard some noises at certain points, right? That would lead you to think that there's more of those creatures, right?
And they could have been just on the other side of that wall. Like, this wall is not only to keep you... like, we're trying to... well, cause, like it's like this cage is to keep you from me. But
it's a system, right?
Because the smart play here would be to infect as many humans as possible. So if they could pin him down, put more babies into him, send him back into the world, that's probably better for them. At the same time,
and if the whole thing's like connected, like we were led to believe with the samples and like Will and all that stuff, then there could be like a hive mind controlling even the little dudes to some extent or something.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing where they just run rampantly around the tunnels and then pop out at weird places during the day. Like there's all these reasons why it would be like a
the hive mind
thing.
Scenario. I like it, but I think that it only applies to the roots and the smoke. I think that's like one thing.
Okay.
Because or else Dustin's little what's his name?
Dart would be
a part of it.
Yeah, so we think
and
it's not.
He doesn't feel like he's a part of it. He might be, but it doesn't feel like he is. Because you'd think that would be like, okay, I have, because especially when he was a baby, he's like, okay, I know where Will is. We can get Will right now.
I know.
Like, but they didn't seem to use that.
I agree.
So
there
I
may be
don't
something
think
special
it's
about
a
Dart.
huge thing. I don't know.
I think they're going to open that cellar and he's not going to be there and there's going to be a hole in the wall, though, right?
It's certainly possible.
That'll be the play. So you have to get rid of Dart. Dart's a murdering machine.
I don't know. Or they'll think of a way, like...
Or they tame it and, like,
that's what I was
riding it or something.
Well, I don't think he'll be riding it.
Oh,
I
Pegasus.
can see it being, like a dog.
Well, because like you're saying, so if it's not connected somehow, if something about how it was introduced makes it like not like maybe there's 10 bad ones and like that one doesn't do the same thing, and he just ate the cat because he's right. This show subverts your expectations.
But he also
maybe he's
just
hungry.
If there was some kind of bond between them, he did just hit him into the basement. So
no, I know.
I don't know.
And
he's
he
been
says,
feeding him though. I don't know how animals work. I think you could
sorry.
accidentally rocking chair a dog's tail, and he's still gonna love you. Like,
no, I think they know. I think they have a thing. But I mean, to support you, not to shit on your point.
I don't know.
No, I'm not sure where they're going with that, but it's extremely dangerous. And
definitely. And it seems to double in size daily.
I was going to say,
so it's not going to take very long for it to get big, and it seems to be like Tremors, or like it eats and then grows, eats and then grows.
Yeah. If it's eating enough bologna now, there might be just like a skin sack in the basement, and it may fly out or something.
But then Dustin goes, door to door now to try to find where his friends are. As you mentioned earlier, he encounters Mike's dad.
Yeah, beautiful interconnected sequences.
Finds out that Nancy is not home either. Our kids don't live here anymore. And then sees, what's his name?
Steve the hairdo.
Asks brilliantly, are those flowers for his parents?
Yeah, no.
No, then get the fuck over here.
Then let's go. What? Do you still have that bat? What? With the nails in it? What? And he's like walking up with flowers like, I'm sorry, I love you, I just, I don't know what I'm apologizing for. Like he's doing the whole fucking awesome fucking thing. It's great, and the brilliant,
I love that Dustin's already in the car, and he's like, oh, now?
Dustin's large and in charge, and just taking control of the situation. And where are they headed? To Will's? Where are they going?
They should be headed to Will's. That's where he knows Mike is.
It's nighttime by the time. I guess they got there and were like, where are they? Fuck. Or something like that.
It'll probably pick up with them later.
Well, that's great. That's a great team up because honestly, and I guess we'll get to this in a second unless there's more at the moment because we'll loop back around to them. Sure. But Nancy and Jonathan are on a road trip.
Yeah, and I'm glad they brought back in because and I was in my head like, who do you think they're going to be going to? And honestly, did not jump to that dude in my mind. That's what I thought. But
so I said it last episode, but I was like, I said right after I said it, but did we even establish that he left town? Why do we think he's somewhere else? Because Hop was like, why don't you stop bleeding these people dry and like get out of town? So did he say, I'll do half of that? I'll do half of those things. I will leave town and continue to bleed this family dry. I don't know what happened.
I like that character. I think it's cool what they're going to do here. I like that the epiphany of no one can process this much shit.
Oh no, yeah, beautiful.
And that's so true.
Yeah, beautiful scene there where they're like, we're gonna water it down. We're gonna. It's like when you have like a mob boss and you can get them on like tax evasion. Yeah, there you go, perfect. Right, where it's like, well, to actually construct the case against like the interdimensional goblin monsters that killed your friend, we'll just say that there was this and that, and they covered it up, and they're dirty, and we can pin them on this. But I loved it.
So what angle they may approach that with for the attack.
That really doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's one of the worst plans ever.
But just drawing attention to that facility in general will be good for them. We'll see how that goes. I like that he lives in this weird conspiracy bunker.
I love the cliche, and someday we have to do that, either for real or for fun, with the push pins and the yarn or whatever the fuck.
Yes.
Is that special yarn? Is that just normal yarn at the yarn store?
I thought you were gonna say a security camera. Awesome. I'm like, yep, we need those too.
No, that's stupid. My only con of that whole sequence and that character is that Paul Giamatti is too young to play that too old to play that character anymore.
Yeah,
because that is clearly him. Just with a new actor playing the Paul Giamatti role or whatever. Do we know who that guy is? He's so familiar to me.
I'm
getting super pissed off. I don't know who it is.
Very familiar.
No, but that was a cool thing. His whole stupid vodka and thinking and jazz and very eccentric. I feel like this is hopefully going to not even go too far because they're going to be like, oops, nope, this is dumb. We can't do this. Right, because this can't get off the ground, this plan.
I picture a thing where, he starts to, I'm going to file an injunction or whatever, and then is, killed. or at least scared the fuck out of there, pretty abruptly.
Yeah, he'll be like a John Turturro in Transformers. He's going to be stuttering and running around with no pants somehow. It's going to be a whole thing. Because, now the people in, the hazmat suits are, helping rescue Hop and stuff.
Yeah.
So if, Murray shows up with, a fucking, wheel luggage thing of, papers to file, they're going to be, Hop's going to be like, fucking stop, what are you doing? Let me talk to you.
Well, not that him and Hop really see eye to eye anyway,
I know.
So I don't think that would stop him. I do think it's cool that Max now knows the deal, and seems to actually believe it now.
That was fucking great. The whole like Dig Dug's out of order and the creepy dude.
Yes.
You know I despise Dig Dug. That fucking awesome fucking dude that runs the arcade or whatever.
Is he in something else? Because he seems so familiar too.
He's
like he played some like
when he was younger, he was in something, right?
Something, right?
Because he's an older version of a very distinct thing.
Yeah,
he was in
it's
something
weird
that I don't think I
shape to that guy's body.
Yeah,
but he's perfect for the part he's playing. Perfect.
No, he's amazing.
I love the Cheeto dust on his hands when he points. Keep it PG in here.
Well, keep it PG in here is great. The fucking like get me that date with like, and it's like how is the the kid's younger brother's friend gonna get you the like that makes no sense.
Well,
it's such kid logic. It's great.
I'm not saying that it can't happen.
Yeah.
Just because Nancy's down for the cause.
Well, they can explain it to her now, but he doesn't know any of that. He just thinks they're normal kids or whatever. But I love telling the story and her being like, "You think I'm fucking stupid? Fuck you," and just getting all weird. And then his like real serious thing again, like
you have to stop talking. You're gonna get us killed.
And she's like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" and all that stuff, and like the whole thing, like, well played. And then to have it come into play, where like Lucas had to be the one to tell her, so that Lucas would be like with Max, so that Billy would see Lucas. I don't know why Lucas.
Now, I would love it if it was something we totally don't expect.
Yeah.
And it's just that Billy's a racist.
I hope so.
Because Billy's a douche.
Billy is a douche.
If you were like, Billy's a douche, and he's a racist, I'd be like, yeah, that fits, whatever.
Kinda, right? Because it makes...
But it certainly could be what we said last time, where we're like, yeah, it could be this whole big weird conspiracy thing, and he could know, and some bullshit, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's like, oh, you're befriending one of the 4 kids that, like, I have explicit orders to make sure that you don't talk to, so I'm going to make you... Because it feels really weird that he's like, listen, I'm older, you're going to learn someday, there's some people you stay away from. And that fucking harmless-looking, string bean is exactly the kind of kid I'm talking about.
String bean.
Like, because he's this, like, tiny... they're like little kids. Like,
how does he even know this? 4th?
Yeah, like how
there's no one you should stay away from in 4th grade.
But like, how does he even know the difference between one kid or like another? He's off doing keg stands and like douche pressing everything. Like how
douche pressing?
I just want to go to the gym. Fucking no, I don't know. Like I don't see why else he would be so adamant. Cause she seemed
unless of course racism is rearing its
ugly
head.
No, that's what I mean. It has to be like one of 3 things, and like the weakest one is like, well, he really cares about her, and he sees that she's upset, and he doesn't like that.
No, that's not
like
it.
That can't be it, right? So it has to be some ulterior thing, and racism would be awesome. Because then
wouldn't it be so funny if that was it? They were totally innocent of everything, and he's just a racist.
If it was this total red herring, and he was just a racist, and then when Dart's like eating his stomach and he's screaming to death, it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Racists.
Maybe it's as simple as like because they're now a family. They weren't before.
Yeah.
Maybe his mother left his father for a black guy, and that's why he's racist.
Well, I mean that would support the racism if that is true. I
want that to be true. Let's go into the thing we've danced around now and have not said is 11's story, which is super interesting.
So holy shit, right? So 11, when last we left 11, she was.
Or should we call her Jane?
I don't think so.
Do you think Jane's gonna stick?
Too confusing.
Okay, we'll go back to 11.
I think she'll be 11 forever. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think at the end of this season, she'll say to Mike, "It's Jane," and he goes, "Jane, I like that," and then it cuts to them getting married. No, I don't know. So she she was crying over her mom's picture. She had like remote viewed her and teleported there and got some weird touch of contact, but then she evaporated and it was like, oh, I'm crying. And like Hop's been in like the tunnel, so it's like, oh yeah, where's 11? Oh god, she fucking hitched a ride across the country.
But this is what's crazy is if they didn't find Hop, there'd be no one to say Hop's even missing. Like, of course he wouldn't show up to work, but that wouldn't necessarily be the strangest thing ever. But like 11, the only one that could actually have helped him would have been like, he hasn't come home in 3 days. I must psychic link to him. Oh, I found him. I must get him. Ching, ching, and just like fucking like force pushed the fucking vines out of the way.
Ground pulls apart and Hop rises up.
With her on a mission,
yeah.
Neither one of them knows the other one's even missing.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's now hitchhiked her way to her mom's spot.
And he's gonna go home and be like, "Oh shit, where is she? Who? 11? Hop, I think I need to sit down. I don't know. You seem like those vines might have fucked you up, bro." And he's like, "No, I've been living with her for almost a year. It's a long story. Look, there's, she doesn't have any dolls, does she? Fuck." And they're like,
"There's
Eggos." Hop seems to have thrown out all these Eggos. Oh no. But yeah, she finds the place. You're going to say the thing.
Yeah, so she finds the parents, and the most interesting thing about this whole thing to me was not like the flashback where you see everything that happened and that she was actually like crippled by fucking Papa.
Amazing.
So like that severed any ties she might have had with Papa.
Oh, any like residual, like maybe you're gonna fall back into the hands of your of like what you know, yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
I love the thing that she's muttering back and forth is like the tale of her life. But what I think is so cool is that maybe somehow she is like in the upside down or something because she's doing the same light thing that Will did, and it's like, well, how is she doing that? And why did they take this baby? Was it because she had powers to begin with?
Oh yeah, she definitely has powers.
But what were her powers?
I don't know. I think similar to Eleven's, but not as strong or something, and they like nurtured Eleven's like abilities.
Maybe.
Did they ever put 11 in like a tube? And do something to her, or was it? Well,
that's how they opened up the portal in the first place. She was in that thing.
Yeah, but that's like focus it or something. I wonder if all of her powers are natural, or if the lab has done something to her to make her stronger powers. But yeah, no, I got the impression that like the mom had powers or whatever. But yeah, similar thing where like that's super interesting though. I had not thought of that
because the sister did not know about any powers, and you'd think that like they're sisters. She wouldn't hide this whole time.
No, I don't even think the mom really knew because she wasn't using powers to go and like find her, like get her daughter. I think she just had some like abilities, and now that she's like locked in her mind, she's had time to kind of like struggle, and that's the way it's manifesting or something. I don't know.
I do love it though. I love the lights. I think that's so cool. Yeah. I wanted what we got was pretty cool too. Was the actual story of what happened. I thought it was going to be like she was trapped in the upside down.
Sure.
And like she can talk and do things and that, and her body's just here, just gibbering.
Yeah. I was sort of hoping even more so for that, where she can just like plainly talk to her in that like void area, because the void area is not even the upside down. It's it's the in between.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many things. But yeah, so it's terrifying. This is that fucking thing, like, because they say like, well, she's like stuck, like she's dreaming. Is it a good dream? And then at the end of the episode, you find out like every time she says that sequence of words, that's her rapidly reliving like the worst couple days of her life or whatever it is, like weeks of her life. Like it's horrible. Nightmare. That's fucking actually horrible. And was that girl really 11? It didn't really look enough like her for me to read it as 11. They hadn't shaved her head yet or whatever.
I couldn't say.
I don't know if she was wrong about that. But was the other girl 8? Do you think?
I don't. If that was indeed 11, the age difference between the two of those didn't make sense for 8 to be that. Unless she does. Some kids are just scrawny when they're little, and some kids are huge when they're little. It's hard to say.
I would believe it. I wouldn't need it.
If it had to be this and that, and again, there's potentially a whole lot of other numbers, and there may have been a bunch of unnumbered kids that like, well, we got this kid, but didn't turn out they had any powers, so like we didn't even give him a number.
He didn't earn a number.
I don't know.
That's depressing.
Did we skip over anything?
Totally.
What did we miss?
I have no idea.
This was a great episode, though. I really do.
This was dope.
I really do love that scream that he lets out when they fucking flamethrower the thing.
No, that's like a crazy scream. That's like an inhuman noise.
I wonder what even the plan is. Like you're gonna flame all the tunnel system. I guess going into it, they don't know how big the tunnel system is.
And they're super inept. Like you can. That was the whole thing. Was like it's not that he's I don't think that they have this master plan. They're just like sort of over their heads, or they don't understand it well enough. They understand it the way someone would like a Martian would understand like human emotions. They would just be like they're cataloging it and they're keeping track of it.
Yeah.
But then things are coming up and they're like like the whole thing about the guy just like fixing the battery in like the outpost there was this big. It was like the moon landing. They were all like, "Yes, we got it. Oh, good. Okay, good. It was this really tense moment, and it's like you're just going like 10 feet over, into the upside down to like hit a thing or whatever the fuck. Like things are not routine and like bullshit. Even though Paul Reiser's whole like thing is like, oh, this is routine bullshit. We just have to flame it. We're fine.
Yeah.
But it's totally not that. And I think he even knows where he's like, oh fuck. Oh, how did I get assigned to this fucking? Oh God, what did I do?
What's super crazy, and I hope they go deeper into this. They like let you into the world. This is probably not the only thing America's a part of. You know what I mean? Like there's probably other things and this and that and weird other issues and aliens and other dimensions and craziness across the world. This is just what's happening in Hawkins. Yeah. I want there to be like spin-offs that aren't necessarily related, but just done by these people because they're fucking talented, and just to see more things.
I know. I feel like like before we had this season 2, there were rumors that it was going to be this anthology
series,
show. Yeah, where it was just going to be maybe not even like American Horror Story with the same actors and actresses. But just like every season's like a different town and like a different story, and they're all these strange things or whatever. At this point, they'd have to do like a Stranger Things Miami or something. They'd have to spin it off as like a different
put
thing,
out a show and it's the Duffer Brothers. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm in. Whatever.
No, they're on the list of like how the fuck did this even happen things. But yeah, it would have to be like instead of red, there'll be some other color, and it would be like Stranger Things London or something like that. Probably not a place is horrible, and that's why I'm making fun of it, but they'd have to like subtitle it or do something to make it like its own thing now.
Yeah.
But I really hope they do that, and I hope they don't just do this forever. Although I also want them to do this forever.
Oh, well, this is locked in for 4 seasons, I think.
Is it?
I think they said it was renewed for 4 seasons.
You've made them a day.
And that might be like, but almost perfect is if they say we're doing it for this many seasons, because well, that's how long their story arc is, and the story will be complete at that time.
That would be awesome.
Rather than like, oh, we're going to keep going forever.
Oh my God! So there have been so many shows, right? Or honestly, there have been so few shows that haven't become shitty and like stretched and petered out and all that stuff. Some of like my favorite shows, like Dexter and House and stuff like that, have those seasons near the end where you're just like, oh God, guys, what are we doing? Do we only have one idea? Like, what the fuck's happening, right? It's been like Walking Dead and like a few other things that have actually been like, I'm sorry, it's been like I was thinking Walter White for Breaking Bad or whatever.
Bad.
Too much alliteration here. No, like fucking. Besides that, and like that's where someone does that, where they say like we are targeting. This is the end, and we're going to do the story, and it's going to end there. And if we have to make more money, we'll figure something out. We're not just going to keep doing this until it's like this, until the horse is just bloody and like disgusting.
Because these characters are good enough that if you were like, no, we wanted to keep going, you could just like the problem could be solved. There could be no more Upside Down, and I would watch these characters do their normal life.
I see.
I think they're great characters.
I love them too, but they would never make a show like that.
No.
That would be
I'm just saying, if you wanted to make money, just do that. I'll be fine with that.
Just make it like
it's them playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm watching.
Oh my God! Like a whole spin-off where it's a Dungeons and Dragons game, but it's happening like in real life in some like parallel like thing or whatever the fuck.
Sure.
Ooh, girl. I wanted to mention, because I feel like we're getting towards the end of this video here.
What do you got?
I really liked Nancy's and Jonathan's like hotel room conversation.
Yeah.
And, the development. They compare scars and their hands are touching, and she's like, "I waited," and he's like, "Well, for like a month." And then she's like, fuck, like, you're such an idiot or whatever. This whole, like, thing with them, like, that's super good. Because, like, I too was thinking, what happened after that thing at the end? You bonded, and, like, everything was, like, laid out or whatever. So then, like, he gave him a camera, like, a month later? Does that timeline even work out? I was very like, what is happening here? But it's
hard
fine.
to say. But yeah, I do think that's funny, and you do see that in a lot of things where it's like we were like saving the world, and then we don't even talk anymore. But that happens. I think people bond over horrible things, and then like when that's over, it's it's like, well, we're going back to normal life. And in normal life, we were not tight.
No, and like it feels good and natural and makes sense, I should say. Not that it feels good, but that's sort of like, well, what happened there? Oh, I don't know. And then that's a weird conversation. I like that they're addressing it, because otherwise it would just be like, is this their thing? Does she just break up with Steve every time the world's threatened, and then she hangs out with Jonathan until like the world is saved? But then she literally says, what the fuck? We don't hang out when the world's coming to an end? Like, that's good.
But it also kindles my hope for that great triangle of goodness. And it's not just like a one-sided thing.
There's going to be several triangles of love.
That's all I need is a couple triangles. All right, guys, let us know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. Don't die in a fire, and we will see you next time.